ready for some shenanigans. The only place where our sense of humor is worse than the band. What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. And it's time for some shenanigans, like starting the stream late. Shenanigans. Oh, as you can tell, Dan got better hooking, and I don't know if
it's Dan 2.0. I'm Dan 2.0.
Dan 2.0. We got a special guest host, co-host tonight. Thanks to Kyle for coming over and replacing Dan. And it's pretty bad when you're on a stream that has 3 co-hosts and none of them can make the stream.
Dan told me that it was time to wash his hair, so that's what he was doing. And then I don't know where your third stooge brother is. Have no idea.
Well, no. I mean, there's 3 co-hosts to Shenanigans.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. It's
so we've got Dan.
Yeah.
We've got Mike, and we've got Hayden.
Oh, yeah. Mike. I can't forget Mike. Yeah.
So Hayden is probably banging his balls in the pockets.
It's banging his balls in the pockets.
Mike, I'm sure, is working, and Dan did have to wash his hair because he probably didn't tell you why. He couldn't wait to get his newest jar of peanut butter open, and he dropped it on the floor, and it exploded everywhere because he ordered the carbonated peanut butter.
I was going to say, whenever you drop peanut butter, doesn't it just go splot?
He ordered the new carbon peanut. Okay, before we get started, let's thank these guys, including Kyle, the Patreons, because they're absolutely awesome. And speaking of them, on the 27th of this month, we're having a big Patreon meetup down in Murphy, North Carolina, and it's going to be a really good time. If you're in that area, make sure, and there is an event page in Discord, check it out and come down and hang out with us. And then also, special shout out to all the YouTube members. They're equally as important, and thank you guys very much. I do not have an updated Adventure Club because evidently when Dan spilt the peanut butter, he messed up the list for that one. But I will say shout out to Michael, Eastern Standard Time, Josh, Kilo 4 Meme India, and Bruce India Charlie Papa for their off-stream donations, and they are still the top 3 on that board. Stephen did get a move up, but he'll just have to wait till Wednesday to see it.
I like it whenever Dan's not here because then you just crap on him the whole time. It's great. Like what else has Dan been slacking on?
Absolutely. I mean, because PP Man likes it too because normally we're just cracking on PP Man, But we figure, since Dan ain't here, we might as well give him the run around.
Yeah, because when's the last time Dan missed a stream? I mean, it's not very often, right?
I don't know. I've probably missed one.
I mean, you got to get your jabs when the opportunity rises, right?
And there was the stream that when I was in Central Time and wasn't realizing that I was in Central Time, or it wasn't dawning on me. And here, I think I'm leaving the park to get to I think I'm coming into the stream like 15 minutes before it's starting. And I come on, and Mike and Dan just sitting there talking away, and I'm like, what the talking for? And then before I opened my mouth, I happened to look up and see you live. And I was like, oh, crap.
It's you that feeling. I've had that feeling for like with work. Whenever I get up and I'm supposed to be at, I work from home mostly, but I have to be somewhere like at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I get up and I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and I look down and it's like 8:45, and I haven't even left the house, and I've got a 40-minute drive, and it's like, oh crap, what do I do? Do I I'm sick, or just like, hey, I'm just not gonna make it in person. It's a horrible feeling.
That is exactly a horrible feeling, because I'm one of those people that cannot stomach to be late. Like if I'm not 30 minutes early, I'm
Yeah.
late. So, and if it like literally if I'm running behind to where I'm just going to be like 5 minutes early, my stomach is already sick.
Yeah.
My day is ruined and everything. And it's crazy because there's other people that they can wake up and say, "Oh, I overslept. We're supposed to be leaving the house right now," and then take 45 minutes to get ready. And no, no, if I wake up and I'm supposed to already be gone, the hat goes on the head. You walk out the door and you go
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, there's some people at work that like are habitually late. They are, I mean, just are always late. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, how do you run your household? Like, how do you even pay bills? I don't even like, some of them don't even have enough common sense to be like, you know what? I haven't paid my electric bill in a while. I wonder, they haven't sent me a bill. I'm just like, wouldn't it dawn on you to like, go out and be like, I'm going to look on the web and see, because I haven't paid my electric bill in 4 months. It's probably not getting to me.
And they get mad, like, would you believe they cut off my power? Well,
Yeah,
normally
right.
that normally means you're at least 2 months behind.
Yeah. Anyway.
Crazy stuff. One thing, I don't know if you've seen this story or not, but I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was very interesting. And, I think people should know. Bring it up here. I'm going to bring it on my big screen so I can read it better. But it says amateur radio saves family's life in Death Valley Park. Death Valley Park is a remote desert in Southern California where mobile phone networks are spotty at best. On Saturday, April 6th, a radio amateur and his family was enjoying the park when their vehicle becomes stuck in the mud in a dangerous area without access to cell network. The ham called for help on the 10-meter band. According to the news release from Black Swamp Amateur Radio Club, Caleb, I'm not going to say your last name, Caleb, because I will mess it
Gus
up.
Willer.
Gus Willer, there you go. Kyle said, Kilo Delta 8 Tango Golf Bravo jumped into action. Gus Willer was monitoring from Ohio when he picked up the distress call. He was able to hear the call sign and general location of the ham in distress. He lost the signal in the noise, so he wrote a post on the Parks on the Air Facebook group asking for other hams to listen for the call. Several hams contacted emergency officials in Southern California, which led to the ham and their family being rescued within a few hours by park rangers. The club stated in their Facebook post, without Caleb hearing his distress call, it could have quickly become a very deadly situation. So, that is an absolute awesome thing right there.
Yeah.
Because, that's what we do radio for situations like that right there. And, people who do Parks on the Air, are more prepared for that than probably anybody, or soda, any kind of portable operations. You know, they do winter field day and summer field day as an event to get ready for that. But you know what? So if you take your pistol out and you shoot it once in the winter and once in the summer, and then all of a sudden you've got 9 people coming at you, and you got to think fast enough to save your own life against 9 of them. You're probably not ready.
Yeah.
You got to practice stuff like that over and over and over.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sure that there's more to the story, and I would love to hear the story behind it on why was it 10 meters? I wonder, is that the antenna that he had on his car, and that was the only way to communicate? Or, 10 meters is a funny band, right? I mean, either it's a little open or it's open, or, you could be just called into the wind.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that when I heard the 10 meters too. Now, I could understand being in Death Valley why he didn't try 40 meters, because
right,
the people in that area say that 40 meters doesn't work really great out that way.
Mm.
But, I would have thought jump on 20 and you can get a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, definitely 20. And then my next band would probably be, I'd probably choose 40 meters first, see what I could hear and see what the noise level and if I could hear any stations. And then I'd move up to 20. And then I'd probably try 15 after that. I don't know if I'd start out on 20. Maybe he ran through the bands and he couldn't bring up anybody, and 10 meters was the magic band.
It's a possibility. Patrick says he was a tech, but here's the thing: in emergency,
you can use anything.
Not matter. You can get on any band you want. You don't even have to have a technician's license. If it's a life-threatening thing, which that could be, being stuck out in Death Valley.
Well, Patrick also makes a good point. Maybe he's a tech, and that's the only maybe antenna that he had, because he was a tech. I could totally see that.
Yeah, that's true too.
Michael says no, he was an extra. Oh no, here we go. Conflicting information. Somebody look him up on QRZ. See what he is.
But anyway, it's still an interesting story, and shout out to the guy who did respond, and when he lost him, have enough sense to try to get other hams in the area. That's probably the only good thing the POTA Facebook page has done in forever.
Well, I mean, just think of this. So, if you are like, good for that guy to go out on the Facebook page and start calling out and saying, hey, start listening on this frequency. I lost him. This guy's in distress. Tell you the truth, the POTA Facebook is probably one of the last places I would have gone to. And now I'm just thinking through, if I heard that distress signal, I'm not really sure what I guess I would call my local 911 people and say, hey, I'm a ham radio operator. I just heard this guy and he faded away. He's in Death Valley. Can you get somebody in Death Valley and make them do the work? But, kudos for this guy going over the Facebook page and saying, hey, I'm going to crowdsource, or I'm going to crowd fund this thing. Not fun, but, crowd, what's the term I'm looking for? But anyway, get social media involved and see if other people can hear it. And I mean, good thinking on his part.
Absolutely. And if any of my listeners ever get in a situation like that right there, don't bother. Post it in my Discord, because I'll tell you what, most of the best hunters in the country who are used to pulling out signals that are just absolute garbage, are in that Discord. And I guarantee you there's people. I mean, we've got people in there that, they'll post somebody's on this frequency in some other country and stuff like that. And, a lot of us don't even hear that crap but there's some people in there that's got crazy ground loops and all kinds of stuff. So you
never know who's listening. And people are always listening. There's there's what 800,000 hams in America, and however many worldwide. But there's always people listening, and if you don't think people are listening, just say a bunch of cuss words and play some music, and you'll figure out real fast who's listening. Start calling CQ on 7200 or 14300. That's that's how you raise the dead.
Yeah. If I'm ever stuck somewhere and it's a life or death thing, I'm going to start calling CQ POTA on one of those frequencies.
Especially 14300. You're going to find out real quick who can hear you and who can't. Oh, it's funny.
That's great stuff. So I see Brent mentioning something in the chat that's a funny story too. So I got the pleasure of activating with Brent again yesterday. Myself and Grandpa Terry, as the Rose kids are calling him now. I call him Uncle Terry, so they start calling him Grandpa Terry. But we all went out and activated Beach Fork State Park yesterday. And
I'm going to be there in September.
That's right, you are.
I am.
And this is your reminder to remind me like the week before that, or else I will probably forget.
I will. I'll remind you.
But we all went out there, and you get new. Oh God, there ain't no way this guy washed his hair already.
He's spinning. He's spinning round, spinning round.
The dryer, y'all.
Like a record, baby. Round.
Well, while he's spinning, we'll keep on. So we got this guy, and he was a stroke AG, and of course, I welcomed him. Graduated him on his upgrade and stuff, and he proceeded to give me a 7.9 signal. That is probably the best signal report I've ever received. I got a 7.9.
7.9. Wow, that's impressive. Maybe that's 20 over on a 5. That's 2 over. Actually, it's 2 over.
Yeah. So I must have been really reaching out there.
How many parks did you do this week? Oh, I got 2 questions for you. How many parks did you do this week? And are you getting used to the U.S. Prefix?
Okay, the U.S. prefix, it's not bothered me really at all. I think maybe 2 or 3 times I've said K.
Yeah.
In that time period. This week, I don't know. I have no clue.
So were you doing parks in West Virginia, or did you go anywhere special, or?
This past week I have hit Ohio and Kentucky at least once.
Yeah.
But I'm averaging right now about 3 a day. I'm not really trying to crush numbers this year, like I promised myself I was going to do.
Right.
So I'm not going to worry about numbers this year. As long as I finish in the top 10 in all the categories, I'm good.
Right.
But, so
have you done a soda this month yet, or maybe last month, or what's the soda status?
I did do a soda last month that like to kill me.
So what, did you roll down the hill after you were done?
It was just really, really steep, and
gotcha.
My legs got the calves got it going up, and the shin splints got it coming down.
Yeah.
So it was pretty brutal. But I did get it done, and of course I get up there, and there's a huge radio tower up there too, and I couldn't get out hardly worth crap. So
yeah, go ahead.
I got it done, so that's all that matters. But you would think that after all that long walk, you'd get some crazy good contacts, but no,
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
I got a couple of stories. There's a soda down by my house, down in the Ozarks, and it's called Pilot Knob. And Pilot Knob is I think it's a 6-pointer. And you drive up to Pilot Knob, and you get out of your car, and you're like, wow, that's steep. That's a lot steeper than I thought. And then you start up the trail, and it goes like this for about, 150, 200 feet. And then you go around this bend, and then it goes like this straight up. And that was one of the first sodas that I ever did in Missouri. And never again, never again, because I got, not only did it go straight up, but I got up there and I don't know if you've seen Red Summit RS, his bee dance whenever he gets up there and he got attacked by bees or whatnot. I got up there and set my antenna over and ran it, ran my end fed and came back and noticed that I had set right beside just like a hornet's nest, down, they burrow down in there. So I didn't get stung, but I'd ruffle them up and I'd had like run back 30 feet and then run and get my equipment and then run back 30 feet. Oh, so never again, Pilot Knob. You did me in.
Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, and we'll make sure and get Dan a new jar of peanut butter fizz.
Peanut butter frizz.
Yeah, I mean, which soda's a different game for me than Poda anyway, because even on the years where I am concentrating on numbers, which will probably be right back to next year, because I'm not going to say I don't miss concentrating on the numbers, because I'm a competitive person, but I'm really enjoying the way I'm doing things this year, where I'm going in the park and I'm spending more time per park, and maybe not even doing the POTA itself. I'm hiking more, I'm biking more, I'm throwing around the disc golf. I'm spending more time in the nature that kind of got me to the POTA to start with.
Yeah, good.
And I'm doing a lot more antenna experimentations as well.
So. Yeah. Have you found that in the hills of West Virginia that if you use a different antenna, you get better results from 20 meters? Because whenever I was there, man, it's like, why are you always on 40 meters? Well, now I understand. Because you're running right into the side of a mountain for 20 meters. It ain't going nowhere.
I've figured out 20 meters has its season in West Virginia.
Oh.
So during the winter, when all the vegetation is dead,
yeah,
where it can, squeeze through, open branches of trees and stuff, 20 meters does fine. But now that it's getting, springtime and everything's growing back, 20 meters went back to absolute garbage.
it's during the summer. That's when the peak 20 meter season's at.
But I can always go on top of certain parks. There's, when I go to Chief Logan, I can go to the top. I know
is that where that restaurant is or that hotel is?
No, well, you could go there, but I like to, on the way there from the park, like if you're leaving the park and going over the hill,
yeah,
right as it tips over and drops down, there's a little pull off back in there, and that's probably the best place ever because you're on top of the world. And then I've got Tomlin, which is not far from there, that I'm on top of the world as well. So I can do really good on any band up there because, of course, you're on top of everything.
Right. Yes. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night. I was working on the trailer and doing a bunch of crap today. Today was work day because I got 2 days, and then on Wednesday we go to the Moore Expo down in Springfield.
What is this sleep thing that you're talking about?
Well, sleep is this thing where you lay on the couch for a while. So this is the routine, right? You lay on the couch about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and you kick on the Tuba U, right? And you catch up on all the things that people have posted. And then you see a video like now I've gotten, this has nothing to do with this stream or POTA or ham radio, but I have now gotten into watching people cook food at a restaurant and serve it. Actually, food trucks. People will literally take a GoPro and put them on their chest or wear them around their neck, and then I'm fascinated by this guy who serves hot dogs out of a food truck, and he just tapes his stuff and puts it out on YouTube.
That's actually funny because
And the YouTube channel name's called Pretty Old Wieners.
pretty old wieners. Why do I feel like Terry wants to go eat there now? Speaking of Terry and food, so I mentioned that Terry and Brent and myself activated yesterday. So I rode with Terry, and that's always fun to ride with Terry. But then Terry's like, "I know you're hungry. Let's go get some food." So Terry proceeds to take me to Suckalata to eat.
Chocolata or Suckalata?
Suckalata.
Suckalata. Well, where is Suckalata?
It's right across the street from the hospital, which is more disturbing.
That or a Chinese restaurant?
No, it's not Chinese. It's actually Greek.
Oh, okay.
And I went in there and actually was forced to watch Terry toss a salad while he was in there. So, so I'm thinking this Three Old Wieners might be a place for Terry to try out.
No. No, don't toss it in the salad. Oh my gosh.
There you go, PP Man.
PP Man's wrong, just wrong.
I'm just telling you the events that happened yesterday, PP Man. People hurt. So now, this is what's interesting. Kyle just mentioned now. A reminder, Kyle, as a Patreon, and we do business meetings, and I typically listen to Patreons. So for the rest of you Patreons who want to know what I'm going to be doing after 8:00, I'm supposed to be laying on the couch watching YouTube. so I shouldn't be in parks, and I should not be not be in chill pad. This is what Kyle has suggested.
Just lay on the couch for a while. That's what I do. That's how I unwind.
Yeah, I do that too, but that's normally about 1:30 or 2.
No. I can't. My coworkers have given me ultimatums. If I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I am not welcome at work. Because I start throwing chairs and just being belligerent. But you got to have goals.
Are you one of those people that's got to have like 4 glasses of coffee in the morning?
No. So I've curled my routine. I have 1 soda in the morning, a sun drop, and then if I'm feeling spunky, I might have me a what's that that soda that was like Mellow Yellow, but then they changed the name. No, it wasn't Mellow Yellow. I don't know. I can't remember. It changed the name recently, and somebody in the chat will bring it up. But I'll have one of those, and that I usually drink that. No caffeine, no sugar, and then the rest of the time it's all natural spring water. And so I'm trying to cut down on my sugar intake and my soda intake, and no, not Mountain Dew, you goofball. It's Mountain Dew didn't change their name. What? I keep thinking Shasta, but that's not it. It's not Shasta, and it's not carbonated water. It's soda.
Sun Drop?
Well, no, Sun Drop. That's what I drink in the morning. So I have 1 Sun Drop in the morning, and then I have this soda. If I not Fresca, not Sprite. Come on, guys.
It's yellow, guys.
Well, no, it's clear. It's clear.
Oh, it's clear.
Yeah. It's clear and carbonated, and it's soda. It's not water. And they just changed their name. Like, I could have swore that it was not a grape drink. Come on. You guys. No, it's not beer. It's Toby. Too much information. No, I'm not drinking. I'm not Perrier. No. Starry. Thank you, Michael. Starry. That's what it is. Starry. Thank you, Michael. Michael wins. Standard Eastern Time.
Standard Eastern Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, Eastern Standard Time. That I'll tell you, Kyle. If if you, I don't know if you've ever watched the POTA activation with myself and Terry, but you know how we do. There's two of us. One of us will say QRZ, and then we'll take the call, and then we'll hand the mic. The other person will work them, and then they'll call QRZ and work back and forth. And I hand Terry the mic, and Michael calls in there, and Terry goes, Kilo Echo 4, Eastern Sexy Time. And I couldn't breathe. Like, it's funny because the camera was over here, and I'm just like waving it off like I wanted to stop because I can't even breathe.
Standard sexy time. It's sexy time.
We
got sexy time in the park.
Somebody gave us a club call, and I'm thinking it was something like Whiskey 8 Sexy Ninja is what he said. And I was like, okay.
The boys on QRZ, they don't like whenever you don't use standard phonetics.
I really don't like when you don't use standard phonetics either, unless it's, if it's eligible and it's funny, I'm all for it. Like what the Roses, they crack me up with theirs. The guy who did Quiet No Talking, I'll never, and that was great because it was in the middle of a huge pileup, and it was like he just screamed, "Quiet No Talking," and I just broke out laughing. I was like, "Let's go with Quiet No Talking."
Those Europeans during contests, big worldwide contests, they come up with some crazy stuff too.
The Europeans are the ones that drive me nuts because they use stuff like Honolulu, Yokohama.
Yokohama's a big one, yeah.
I'm like, huh? What?
And you know what's funny is like, they're trying to get right and they're using words with like 4 syllables. Like, can we just use a word with like 2 syllables? Maybe that would come out quicker, but no, Yokohama, Zanzibar, Yokohama. Those are those phonetic words that they just love to use.
I think the worst one that does me in is Honolulu. I can never understand what somebody is saying when they say Honolulu.
You should have a JA say Honolulu to you. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like the first time that one guy from Spain hunted me because.
The guy from Spain who won't quit.
Well, he's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
You're thinking of Tango Lima, but
yes. Oh my God, that guy just calls and calls.
This guy, when he says one, it sounds like he's saying Guam.
Guam.
He goes Echo Alpha Guam Golf India Bravo. I'm like, I need a number. Guam. Yeah, I need a number. Echo Alpha Guam. And I'm like, it took me like 15 tries, and I finally figured out he was saying 1. Anytime I hear Guam, I know it's him, and I just put him in the mode.
Yeah, that's so. If you talk to seasoned contesters who do a lot of international contests, you learn what the phonetic sounds like and what it really is. Especially with the Italians. The Italians, they have their accent is so thick sometimes that. A perfect example, won, and you're like, Guam, what, Guam? No, won. And then to pull them out of the noise is even worse, So, I don't know. Maybe people in the chat can talk about their woes on trying to understand dumb phonetics.
I did see a question back in there. PP Man wants to know what kind of radio you're putting in your camper.
That is a good question, Mr. PP Man. I haven't gotten that far, but I'm gonna put a 2-meter. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm gonna put a 2-meter in first, right? So I can set in a campsite and listen to the local repeater, especially if there's like a Skywarn thing going on. So the thing that is, and I'll probably put my KX3 in there and, be able to take it in and take it out. But the one thing that I'm having trouble with is trying to figure out what type of bulkhead or how I'm going to get the coax out of the trailer. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out how I'm going to pack and what I'm going to pack and where things go. And I'm still in that process, and I haven't taken the trailer out that much. So I'm thinking that if I can, and I'm going to buy an air conditioner for the trailer, and I'm trying to figure out where that's going to go. And so it all depends on these things that I'm going to buy, on where they're going to go in the trailer, where the next hole I'm going to drill through the trailer is for the radios. So as of right now, if I'm doing radio, it's probably going to be outside the trailer. But if I get forced inside the trailer, I could probably crack a window and, stick the coax out the window. But at some point, I'm going to have to drill through it and put a bulkhead, in there so I can put coax and then bring the radio inside. So it's a good question, PB man. Here we go. Here's the ideas. Lido mount from the ceiling. You can lay in bed and activate. That sounds good. That's interesting.
If Dan was here right now, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take Dan's place. He would say, "Kyle, you're just gonna have to rip off the Band-Aid and drill a hole."
I know.
Then he would tell you how he drove his truck off the lot and drove it straight home and drilled a hole in the top of it. I got your back, Dan.
Toby's asking which 2-meter radio. Probably. I have an old Kenwood laying around here that I'm going to put in. I think it's a TM7VA that I'm going to use there. So that will probably be the radio that I put in there. I was going to put my satellite rig in there, but I want to use that for satellites. So probably an old Kenwood that I got until it kicks the bucket, and then I'll look about something else.
I'm really thinking about getting me a new Yaesu 2-meter.
What kind?
Oh, dang it! You asked me the 500 is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, I have one of those.
Do you like it?
Yeah. The screen is nice and big, and I can see it, and my old eyes don't have to squint to see it. And the menu system is actually laid out pretty good, versus a 891, or some of the other, once you start to have Yaesu radios and you start to understand their method to their madness, then, once you get one, it's like, oh, now I understand where this function is because it's in this sub menu on my other radio, and it's the same sub menu on this radio,
Hey, thank you very much for your taxes, Eddie. You may now activate.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Everyone's got to mail their taxes in tomorrow. If you don't, you're late, and you pay me. You need to pay the fiddler.
Typically, if they're going to activate during the stream, they'll stop in and pay their taxes.
Mr. IRS, man, I was doing POTA, so that's why I'm late on my taxes.
But, it's different. The IRS will send you a letter in the mail. The king sends soldiers to your house.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of the menu system, I started with the 991A.
Right.
Then I went DX10, and then I got the 818. But everybody always talked about how horrible the 891 is. And although it's not as easy as a system as like the 991A or the DX10, it's really not that bad of a menu, guys. I've had no problems with it. I
mean, so it goes back to once you learn the menu system on Yaesu radios, it's not that bad, right? I mean, it could be better, but once you figure out where all of your settings that you need to get to, you get to them, right? I mean, there's very few settings that you kind of deep menu settings that you change on a regular basis. Everything should be on the front panel.
Right. And you can customize the 891 to put what you want on the front panel too.
Right.
So I don't really see the big deal with it.
We don't see the big deal. If you got a issue with it, go find somebody else. Go find another stream.
That's right.
A Shenanigans arrow.
You can go find another stream in about 19 minutes.
Yeah. Hayden streaming in 19 minutes. Go find him. Go ask him a Yesu question.
Is it Hayden tonight?
Well, is Hayden streaming now, or is Hayden streaming at? I think. I
thought Frank or Charlie streamed after me.
It's. So we've got You're Live. Yeah, Ham Radio DX is streaming at 6 p.m. But yeah, I thought Tank or Charlie streamed at 6 p.m.
That's who normally follows me.
I don't know.
I always normally say I don't really remember who it is tonight, Frank or Charlie, but head on over.
I have no idea. Ham Radio Now is streaming. Gary and David seem to think that this is an okay hour to stream. It's like there's so many people streaming on Sunday night that I can't keep up with them. I can't keep up.
Listen, once I get my times, I stick with it. That's like we were talking about the other night on the happy hour. I was like, guys, listen, I started this thing at 10 o'clock, and it was horrible. I hated streaming at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I got the 9 o'clock hour, and then because you don't want to step on somebody's toes, you know?
Right.
And then when Ham Radio Dude's like, all right, because here was the thing. The slot opened up. I can't remember who originally was at Wednesday at 8. And before I could even think about it, Ham Radio Dude slid right in there.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. But then he moved off of it, and I'll never give up Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, that's a good time. It's a good time. Robert says, I need a YouTube guide to keep up anymore. Yeah, you and me both, man. Like, I can't. I mean, I know that this stream's at 5 my time. Tank or Red is at 6, and Jason's at 7. But then Hayden sometimes like streams at this time sometimes, and tonight he's at 6. I'm not really sure. What time that he streams on Sunday, and then I know
I'll go ahead and apologize to all y'all for Kyle's times. He thinks that Central Time is where it's at or something.
Sorry, it's only time I know. But yeah, and then you have Wednesday nights, and then Josh is on Saturday nights, and then I stream on Thursdays at 8 p.m. sometimes whenever I've got a topic, and yeah. There's Clubhouse on Tuesday. There's my CW stream on Monday. Let's see.
There's way too much stuff to try to keep up with anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's like Kyle said. He lays down at 8 o'clock on the couch and starts watching stuff. I'm the same way at like 1 or 1:30. I'll lay down and start trying to watch YouTube and stuff like that. And it's funny because sometimes during the day, I'll get a notification that somebody's video popped out, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me jot that one down for me to watch tonight so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Normally Dan will be like, did you watch my video today? I'm like, it's on my list. It's on my list.
Yep.
I don't know how he has time to do all the stuff he does. Let me tell you.
Who?
Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Like, I don't know how I have time to do all the stuff I do either, but
people will do what they want to do and make time for stuff, right? I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I would love to do, but is on my someday list. But then there's stuff that I need to do right now that I will make time for, but I have to push something off. And then if I push something off enough times, then it becomes a list of, I'll get to that someday.
Yeah. I've got a calendar, and I tried to mark off my stuff every day that I need to do, but sometimes it just don't happen.
Yeah.
Because
do you keep like a to-do list of things that you need to do during the day, or is it just like a running list in your head?
No, it's on my first. So when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I'll come in here and I'll look at my calendar.
Yeah.
And and the first thing on that list for every day is
POTA?
practice CW. No, it's practice CW.
Practice CW. Good for
So
you.
the first thing I do is I do that, and and people's like, well, you activate CW every day. Well, that's not me practicing CW. I'm trying to increase what I'm doing in CW.
Yeah.
I want to be able to decode better. I want to be able. Sending's not really a thing. I can send fairly good, but I want to be able to decode better for sure. So that's really what I practice the most in the mornings.
Yeah.
And then I'll head out and I'll go do POTA, which see now it's getting to the time of the year where I'm going to need to change my schedule up because it's that midday crap where the bands are not doing as good midday now. So I'm going to have to go back to switching to really early and staying out later.
Yeah.
And then do YouTube work midday when I'm used to POTA.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all on a schedule.
Yep. Yep.
It has to be, but stuff don't get done. There's still stuff. That's like the Patreon, poor Patreons. They voted for me to stop doing daily updates, and they wanted a weekly update. And now that it's a weekly update, I've went 3 straight weeks and not done one because I can't never remember it.
Oh, we're having your head. What is going on? Like, what? You need to do your weekly update right now. Yeah, if it takes it takes a long time to get to a point where, like, if the daily update was probably easy because you did it for so long. What does it take? It takes 21 days to form a habit or something like that. This stream has turned into a motivational stream. I don't know where we got for this, but anyway, 21 days to form a habit, and then you probably did it for a year or 2 years, whatever the time frame, and then you broke that habit, and now it takes a while to get back into sync with, oh, now I do it weekly, and then it probably is on your calendar for Sunday afternoon, but then something else comes on and it bumps it, and then before you know it, you're like Tuesday, Wednesday, you're just like, screw it. What's the point now?
Yeah, just Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, I can't do a weekly update in the middle of the week. So it's I don't know. But that's the thing. I the Patreons. That's the point. In I do that business call because I let them decide. Of course, it's at the end. It's my channel, and I'll veto anything I don't want.
It's good to be king.
The king will veto something real quick. But
that's crap.
I've came up. A lot of stuff comes from the Patreons.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, they're going to be quite excited with next week's, not this Wednesday, or I don't know. I'd have to look at my calendar. Either this Wednesday. No, it's not this Wednesday because this Wednesday was when I'm supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
It's next Wednesday stream. They're going to really be happy for because it's one that several of them has asked for a while.
Well, good. I'm waiting for something. It's great. I mean, I'm a little disappointed it's not next week, but I'll have to wait in 2 weeks then.
Yeah, well, I mean, I planned on streaming from more, and I guess nobody even really knows here on the stream. I probably will not be going to the More Expo now, due to I've got to clean up some storm damage and fix a couple of things that the storm has messed up. I was unable to get to my house for like 2.5 days, so
we'll
probably won't be going to more now.
Yeah, so we'll miss you more, but yeah, it's it's probably good that you're probably not coming out because on Wednesday it's supposed to be 80 degrees. On Thursday it's supposed to thunderstorm all day. Then a cold front comes in, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it's supposed to be in the 50s. So, looking forward to that. Thanks, Mother Nature. It was freaking 88 degrees today in St. Louis. It was freaking amazing. And why can't I don't understand why old Mother Nature, old Mother Earth doesn't like, if it's going to be spring, hey, Mother Nature, can we have summer and not hot weather? Can you just like go to like 85 degrees and just stay there for the summer, please? Thanks.
Yeah. There we go. Another Texas. He's on 7236, guys. Go get Steven. Thanks for the super chat, buddy.
Thanks, Steven.
I'll come and get you after the stream if I can hear, because I'll tell you what, the noise level's been stupid today.
I sent my taxes in on Saturday, certified mail, so they get them. I sent my state taxes in. My federal taxes I filed through the computer, and I stood in line for 10 minutes or so, and other people were paying their taxes or sending them in. And some guy was complaining that he has lived on this planet for 68 years, and it was almost like an 80-meter conversation. He's lived on this planet for 68 years, been paying taxes since he was 18, and this was the first year he had to pay. And he had to pay like $25, and he was just like all up in arms about it. It was crazy. It was like, oh my God, I went to the post office and an 80-meter conversation broke out.
And thank you very much for your taxes for hunting during spring. That's a new one. Harry, I might put you in charge of enforcing that one. Toby's like, no hunter tax.
I got Toby during. Oh, I'm getting some feedback here. I got Toby. We did a POTA right before the eclipse on Monday, and got POTA. We did POTA, but got Toby in the log. I haven't POTA'd in, a long time, and got a few faces from the HRAG Discord. But thanks for contact, Toby. We capped it at 13 contacts because we had to get somewhere for the eclipse and set up and do some SEQP. But good to get Toby in the log.
So were you activating during the eclipse?
No. I went to a private farm that my friend owns down in southern Missouri, and we watched the eclipse from there. And I was just had the radio on, and we were running some FT8, and that was about it. So
it was really weird for me because we only got about 85% here, but there was a high noise floor that day and a lot of QRM. And the darker it got, that QRM just kept fading and fading and fading.
Yeah.
And I was struggling, pulling out call signs beforehand. And when it got to its darkest point, the QRM was gone, and there was a pile of people in there. It was kind of like a night shift right at the switchover.
Yeah.
And in 4 minutes, I was somewhere close to 100 calls.
Oh, wow.
And then it started getting light, and the QRM started coming back. And then when it's fully light back again, it was right back to the bands were noisy, and you might be getting one or two a minute.
Yeah.
So it was really weird.
Let me see if I can pull this up just real quick. Let me see if I can play this. Let's see. Let me see. Listen here, boy. I said. So I took some video during the eclipse, and let me see if I can. Oh, here it is. So let me see if I can. Let me mute this. All right. So let me share my screen here and see if it will present. Share screen. Let me do the entire screen. Is it rolling? Yeah, so here I am. Here I am, Miss America. So you can see that it's getting a little dark. There's Caitlin over there. So I'm on a farm here, and then it's getting even more darker. And see the dusk to dawn light just came on.
Right.
And now it's getting really dark. And then we're almost there. We are. We're in full totality right there. And you can see how dark it is. And look, and the crazy thing is there's a sunset that's all the way around, 365 degrees sunset or sunrise, whatever.
Okay, so what percent were you guys? Were you 100% there?
Yeah, we were 100%. So I was on the northern parts, and I think we were in totality for like, I don't know, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, maybe.
Okay, because that's not much darker than it got here.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, once it's there's Pixie there. If everybody's complaining that they never see Pixie, there's Pixie over there. But anyway, it got once the moon started to close in, like, until it got to totality, it was pretty light outside. Like, it was not it was like, oh yeah, I mean, it's darker, but it's not that dark. And then as soon as it got to full totality, it just, like, the light shade just went down,
It kind of reminded me of like the early dawn, like if you're a deer hunter and you're in your tree stand right as the sun's coming up, where you can just start to see things around you and stuff. It reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah. So let's speed this up here. So 2 times. Let's speed it up one more time. So you can see now it's starting to get lighter. See it's getting. So, like, once the slice, once totality stops, it really starts to. And I was streaming with Jason at the time, and you can see what I had you can see down there that was Jason's stream. But see how light it is? This is probably only like 3 or 4 minutes later after the totality.
Yeah, it got light pretty quick after. I think we had like 4 minutes is what we had.
Yeah. And here it's almost full light now. So anyway, cool stuff. I mean, it's what's crazy is they said, granted I was only around 5 or 6 people, but they said and it got colder. You can see that I was rubbing my arms. It definitely got colder. But they always did.
I actually went from no jacket while I was activating to a jacket on.
Yeah. And they say like 2 out of 5 people will cry during the eclipse. And I checked my Instagram, and I swear there was like 3 or 4 people that were crying during the eclipse. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much of an effect on people that people start crying during the eclipse. So anyway, that's there you go. There's a little eclipse action from southern Missouri.
It's kind of like when I'm doing one of my speed rows, and they see that I went QRT in Discord. You wouldn't believe, like 4 out of 6 people are crying in Discord.
4 out of 6 people cry on QRTs.
All right, guys, we are getting ready to wrap this up, so you can head over to Charlie, Hayden, Frank, whoever's streaming and you want to watch. Kyle, what do you got coming up?
I'm going to be on Jason's stream at 7 and CW Roundtable tomorrow night. We're going to do we're going to have Byron on and Chris on from the CW Hotline, and we're going to talk about CW Hotline. And I'll be doing a POTA on Thursday, probably in the Springfield area. And yeah, I'm going to try and get a video out tonight or maybe tomorrow on the channel. I don't know. I'm so far behind on videos. So anyway, A0Z on YouTube.
Good deal. For myself, the usual schedule, other than I've got to take some time to do some cleanup work and fixing a couple of things. And I may go out after I hunt Steven. It depends on how bad the bands are while I'm hunting Steven. So we'll just see how that works out. But thank everybody for the super chats. Thanks for Kyle for coming on and taking Dan's place tonight. And We'll catch you guys on the air. 73, everybody.
73.